The Taliban's stranglehold on Afghan women's civil liberties continues with access to work, travel, and health care being severely restricted if they are unmarried or without a male guardian, according to a United Nations report. The UN Assistance Mission in Afghanistan, or UNAMA's report, covers the period from October to December 2023, pointing out that the Taliban are cracking down on unmarried women and mahram, or those who do not have a male guardian. While Afghans suffer from draconian Taliban restrictions, they are also up against an even greater existential challenge as manifests in a winter without snow. The mountainous country has had no snow so far this winter, and that could have a profound impact on agriculture because of water scarcity. In a country that is already in the grip of widespread starvation, a dry winter could be catastrophic. This is seen as a consequence of climate change. Mayank Chhaya Reports spoke to the well-known Afghan women and children's rights campaigner Mahbouba Seraj, who said the lack of snow could be devastating for the country. She joined MCR from Kabul. The information about a snowless Afghan winter resulted from a chance observation about winters in the country.
And the winters in Kabul are brutal?
The winter in Kabul is non-existent this year.
Oh, really?
We are in such a bad shape. It's not even funny anymore. I swear.
Oh,
The whole of the Solang Mountains, everywhere in Afghanistan, there is no snow. I don't know what we are going to be doing.
no
We
snow
are
in Afghanistan? That's amazing.
no. Oh, that's going to be the. I cannot tell you. I mean, the effect of it on everything, on agriculture, on people, on water, on everything, is going to be devastating. It really will.
As if you don't have enough problems, right?
As if we don't have enough problems.
Yeah.
That's
This
right.
is all climate change at work.
Exactly. And the poor part of the world is going to get absolutely the brunt.
Right. It's a story by itself. I'm surprised no one is paying attention to there not being any snow in Afghanistan. That's astonishing.
It's just we are. I mean, I'm praying day and night, and I'm very worried, and there is a lot of us that are very worried, and then there are some of us that they are not even aware of what on earth is going on. So I guess
What
amongst
about
the
what
Taliban
about
are
the Taliban?
they're not aware of what is going on. I don't think they really know the importance of it, and now I don't think they really know the devastation that will cause lack of it. So I yeah.
That's interesting, Mr. Raj. That's a problem that someone like you could point out. This is not a religious problem. It's not a cultural problem. It's not a political problem. It's not an ideological problem. So the Taliban should be willing to pay attention to something like this, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I talk to foreigners a lot about this. Anytime I see them, the UN, the UNAMA, and every single one of them.
Yeah.
But with the Taliban themselves, I haven't really talked about it. And in my opinion, believe it or not, that was one of the things that I thought one day, if the Taliban are willing to talk to the women of Afghanistan, maybe this subject, this topic, will be something that will be the a common topic of interest for all of us, and men and women of
Absolutely.
Afghanistan. That's how
You
I think.
mentioned Unam. I'm glad you mentioned that United Nations mission on Afghanistan.
Yeah.
They have just issued a report which it is deeply troubling, but it's the same story. Now we hear that unmarried women and those without a male guardian would have no access to work, health, and travel. How do
You
you
know,
get around that?
this is the most ridiculous thing ever, because so many of the women of this country, they're all without a husband. For God's sake. They should know that their men died, they got killed, they are no longer around, and those women, they were all of them the breadwinners of their families, and now they're no longer, they no longer can do anything, and this is exactly like, I don't understand it. I really don't understand it, and I still keep on hitting my head against the wall, trying trying to make a sense of this, and I cannot. I cannot. I really cannot. I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. Truly.
But isn't
I don't.
there anyone within the Taliban that can talk some sense to those who decide these things?
Mm, there are some that they have a lot of sense in their heads, but whether they can actually have they have the guts to actually talk to the people that are making the decision or to the person that is making the main decisions, I don't know.
And
So far,
where does this come
so far it
from?
hasn't happened.
At what level does this decision come down from?
It comes from the Haibatullah himself.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And no, he doesn't listen to anyone else, does he?
Apparently not. Apparently not. Apparently, he thinks that all the decisions are supposed to be made by him, and he's the only one that can do that. And he looks at Islam from an entirely different point of view, and he has an entirely different, agenda, and the country is being run. But at the same time, what else is really going on, which is not a good idea and not a good thing for Afghanistan, is the fact that all of these other people that they are under him and they are taking orders from him, they are there is a group of them that they they do things because they have the power, and they can do it, whether it's been really told by the hierarchy that they should do that or not, we don't know. But they are doing it because they are the soldiers, they are the police, they are the ones that they have actually the control. So so it's not a healthy nor a good situation at all.
Indeed, I can imagine that. In fact, one of the United Nations officials called it absolute horror that you have to
It really
live in
is.
a country like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it
As a
absolutely is.
as a practical matter, I'm trying to understand if you're a government, say Taliban government, the very least you would want is to succeed in some measure, right? As a government,
That's
not
right.
as an ideological lunatic group. If you have even that much view about governance, why would you completely disregard half the population?
Well, I mean, this disregard is not only towards the half the population, which are women. This disregard is really towards, at this point, is towards everybody and anybody that is a non-Talib. So the disregard is really going is much deeper and much bigger. So if they are not careful on how they do go about it, this whole disregard is going to be something that is going to hurt them the most. And it will, because you see, things that are happening right now, like the way, and if they think that they are people are not using all of this against them, whether right or wrong, they are absolutely wrong. Because there are lots of people that they are waiting for something to for an excuse to be given into their hands so they can use it against this government, for example, and really make Afghanistan fall into pieces at this point. And the pieces are, like the Hazaras and the Tajiks and the that or for example, if everybody says that the Taliban are really working against them, and most of the Pashtuns don't find themselves amongst the Taliban, and then there you are, and then the women, of course, they don't count because they all hate us. I mean,
Right.
what kind of a governance is this? I mean, this is according from what I'm saying to you right now. This takes the care of about 90%, more than 90% of the country. With everybody in it, we are all in there right now, and this is
Yeah,
not good.
yeah, but then we have talked about this a couple of times. How come there is no consolidated societal pushback to the Taliban? I mean, they are still in a minority in terms of sheer numbers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Why
But
isn't there is no uprising that's happening?
well, the reason is because we have such a absolutely horrendous background. Our background of what happened to us is actually right now stopping us more than anything else. Our previous governments are the ones that are hurting us more than anything else. And the way the world treated us is hurting us more than anything. Because they all decided, as I said, to drop us like a hot potato, and that was it. And everybody, they decided to go, and that's it. So here we are. Here we are.
There is
In
a
in
journalist who reported from Afghanistan for a long time for the Associated Press. She's of
Right,
Canadian origin.
right.
Uh, she wrote in the New York Times that I don't know how feasible it is, that it's maybe time for America to return. I don't know what that means. Do you think the US should consider
Never,
relooking at their policy? That's not going to happen. And should it
never
happen?
again.
That's my question.
Never again. Never again. Should never happen. It
Okay.
shouldn't have happened then, and it should not happen again. Because the one thing that I know about the U.S. policy is not good. U.S. policy, they don't know what they're doing in these parts of the world. So whatever they do, they make one mistake over another, and they're messing everything up big time. Because if they could not handle the situation of Afghanistan for the 20 years that they were here, with all of the power and the money and the attention, what do you think they're going to be doing from here on?
Right. But I'm sure the CIA still has a very strong presence in Kabul.
I'm sure. I'm sure they do. And I
And
and I have a feeling that they might even be working with whoever, the government, Taliban, whoever they are, in one way or another. I don't know. I really don't know, because that part of it, to tell you the honest truth, I don't know how it works. I don't know. I
do
really
you,
don't
at
know.
your level, even attempt to interact with anyone in the government?
I've been trying to, and from here on, actually, I'm going to try a little bit harder and more seriously, because there are some things that are going to be happening, and I would like to have a talk with them. But again, I find my talking to whoever is in the government, whoever in the on the second echelon, apart from Hibatullah, it's a waste of time, because who am I talking to?
That's true. But given your profile and your standing, he should reach out, shouldn't he?
I know, Mayank, they are not even giving me. Can you imagine that and just to give you an example, I mean, I know the UN, I know UNAMA, I know everybody, and all of this time I've been in Afghanistan. Do you think that anytime when there is a meeting, that is important meeting and it's taking place somewhere, do you think that UN woman, UN or UNAMA or whoever wants as one woman? There are a few of us in
Right.
Afghanistan that actually can have access and go out and all of that. Do you think they ever asked me to be in one of these meetings? No. They can get the woman from diaspora, from outside,
Right.
from abroad, and they can come and talk about the lives of the women of Afghanistan, but not a woman that is giving all of her life and her efforts and her time to Afghanistan. Not only me, but there's a few others also.
Right.
They don't want us to be there and talk. No, they haven't asked us.
Have they
So
actively tried to put restrictions on you?
no, they haven't. I don't think they are Taliban. You mean? No,
Yeah.
Taliban. No, no. I'm not doing anything against Taliban, really.
No,
I
even
mean,
this conversation, for instance, is
well, you
is
and I,
harsh
we are
enough,
having it.
right?
Well, I know, but it's the truth.
I
It's
know,
the
but I'm
truth.
saying somebody in the Taliban would notice and say, "Why are you talking bad about us?"
Well, I'm not talking bad about them. I'm talking the right thing about them, and I want them to start paying attention, because we're all dying here. This
Yeah,
is
but
just a, this is just a wake up call. I'm
yeah,
trying to wake everybody up, because they didn't. The government previous to them, didn't listen to me. And listen, look at what happened. Till the last second, my neck, I was trying to tell those people, the president and whoever was in charge, please, the way you're going is wrong. For God's sake, stop it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's wrong. And nobody ever listened. So these people are doing the same thing, and they're doing it on the women of Afghanistan, on their education. It's like, come on, guys, get a grip here. And I know that they don't like criticism, and like, how dare we criticize? But They have decided to be on the government. How can you be in a government and not listen to criticism? How is that possible? How is that possible? I mean, I mean, I'm sure they don't even know because they have never governed anywhere. But this is how it works. When you are in
Right.
the government, you're going to get criticized.
You know,
Period.
I find it incomprehensible that even if you factor in their extreme ideology, they
Yeah.
still need to deliver in terms of some economic markers or some socio-cultural markers as a government. Nobody thinks of those things at all.
No, they do, I'm sure, but there are things that they are doing right as far as the control of the corruption is
I
concerned, and
see.
there are some other things that they are really doing. They are doing it. It's not that they are not. They are, and 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 every point that they are putting their finger on it, and they're saying that this is wrong. It is something that used to be extremely wrong before, but not anymore. It's no longer the women of Afghanistan. It's like sometimes they give us this feeling, I'm sorry, that I think that we are all prostitutes. All the women of Afghanistan are not prostitutes, for God's sakes. We're not bad women, all of us. It's like sometimes I get the feeling like we're all bad.
Yeah.
How can we be? But this does not mean that Afghanistan was not really inundated at one point by all of these women. The women that came took advantage of Afghanistan, took advantage of the people that they were in power, and did the nastiest things, and they
Right.
ruined our reputation completely with it. And those men that they were in power and they were around the people in the palace that gave them those possibilities, they also ruined our reputation. So now they're gone, and with their money and everything that they have somewhere in the world, whatever the hell it is that they are doing, and we are here in Afghanistan to answer.
You mentioned something very significant about so many women don't have husbands or men in their lives because
Yeah,
lot of them have died over the
that's right.
last 2, 3, 4 decades. I'm sure there are
That's
women in their 50s and 60s who have no male guardian. Uh,
absolutely.
how
Yeah.
do they get by? What do they do?
Well, if there is older women, the older women, they are in bad shape. But some of those older women, even though they have lost their husbands, but they can be, at least they might have some sons that they are, taking over a little bit of whatever the responsibility of our life is concerned. But my concern is regarding the young women. There is a lot of young women that they are not married, and they have children, and they have quite a few of those kids, and their of their husbands are gone, and they're not around them. How are they going to do it? They are having the worst time. They are having the biggest difficulty, and
Right.
and I and I and I don't know how that's going to be. That's going to be, because this is not going to solve their problem at all. The fact that there is no work, the fact that there is no money, and now this climate change is going to destroy us completely. I swear to you, it will destroy us. I mean, I for the life of me, I don't know what is going to be happening, and that worries me sick.
Right.
Absolutely sick to
Do
my stomach.
Af- do Afghans also see this as an opportunity to have their own way of developing without interference from, say, someone like the US, now that they're out of it and they've forgotten the country completely at a policy level? Do you
Yeah.
think that might be seen as an opportunity for Afghanistan to rebuild itself in its own image?
Well, it could be. It could be. Why couldn't it be? Why couldn't it? Why can't we rebuild ourselves? Why can't we do it? But then again, for example, I read in some of the newspapers, well, the government has agreed, made an agreement with, with whatever government they don't even mention, and this many billions of dollars for the digging underground whatever we have it underground in our land. I mean, in this country,
Right.
in where Afghanistan, in our minds. So it's all taken. And now I'm saying to myself, who is actually making this decision? Because this is for the people of Afghanistan. The people are supposed to know. And these are the times that I really miss the parliament. As much as that parliament was horrible, but at least, there was a
Right.
voice that coming from them, and it should have, if it was there, because this is something that a government should really decide on how to do this and sell all of this, because this is the livelihood of Afghanistan. This is all Afghanistan has. This belongs to the people of Afghanistan.
Right.
Doesn't belong to any government. Governments don't have any right to it. The people of Afghanistan have a right.
In this context,
Not
where do you see China?
China. China is magnificent when it comes to that. That country knows exactly what to do, how to go, how to dig, how to take, and how to use it without even blinking an eye. Because the way they do it, they know exactly how to do it. They bring their own people, their own equipment. They do their own work. They take everything out. They're going to they fix it in their part of the world, and they sell it to the rest of the world. Finished. We are just a digging ground for them. That's all.
Right.
We are just the mines. The mines that are there, that they are useful. But okay, fine. I don't care. China is another country like all the other countries. Fine. Come and do that. But at the same time, is this good for Afghanistan or not? I don't know. I don't know who's deciding this. Because nobody is raising their voices now with the natural disasters that are going to be happening. God forbid if there is one earthquake in this place.
Right.
God forbid, like the one that happened in Herat. If it happens, like that anywhere else in Kabul or three places, what are we going to do? We have no preparation for anything. Nothing. Nada. Finished.
It's
We are doomed.
extraordinary.
We really are. It's completely. It's like nobody's thinking about it. It's, dear God, why? Why aren't you thinking about it? And then of course I start cursing myself, because why am I thinking about it? Why am I the only one that is kind of hitting her head against the wall and going, "Oh, for God's sakes, people, please! Afghanistan is falling apart. Let's do something about it."
No,
I
but
won't understand.
at this stage, you see no hope.
No, but then again, that's my stupidity. I am such a hopeful human being. I always
Yeah.
believe, I always believe that if we change things, if we start looking out of the box, if we really, try, and we really get together, and if we really give hand in hand, and if we really understand each other, listen to each other, we will be okay. And then I'm a believer in Allah, and I know that He's not going to let me down. I really do know
Well,
that.
but even if you take that argument, haven't you already
I
been
don't
let
have any
down
other
for such a
choice.
long time?
I know. I don't have any other choice. What am I supposed to do? What am I
That's
supposed
true.
to do?
Yeah.
I cannot just stretch my legs and say, okay, fine, I'm ready. I'm getting ready to die, which that's also is right around the corner for me at the age that I am. But then again, until it happens, no. Until it happens, I have to, I have to, I have to be, it has to be different. I have to raise my voice and I have to say something.
And to conclude, how do you see
Otherwise, what's the point?
children
Really, what's the point?
under 10, say children under
Yeah.
10, dealing with this country? Do you get any sense of what they are thinking?
Oh, dear God. No. Although I do have quite a few of them around me too, because of my shelters.
I
I
see.
do have a lot of children in
Yeah.
here. Women, they have a lot of kids, and we are looking after them. So I am trying to create the most normal life as possible around them, for them, so that they do not
Right.
feel, whatever is going on outside of this place, as far as learning is concerned, as far as having a time to laugh, as far as having a time to spend together, as far as them running around and learning and living and being a child. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to give them, and so far it's been okay. But the rest of the kids, the ones that they are on the streets, and they have the ones that they have the hard life. I am so
Yeah.
sad, because yeah, it's like,
No,
and when
it's
I talk to them,
heartbreaking.
really, It's absolutely heartbreaking because all that they are concerned about is their mom, because usually they only have a mother. The father is either absent or sick, and the mother is also not well. And these children are really, really thinking of their mother not being well, and the fact that they don't have any money, to buy her medication or take her to the doctor. And then the mothers also are like that because they don't have that for their children. And then they, they come to me, and I try to see if I can help. And with the help of some of my friends, I gather some money and I try to help them. But that has been going on for the past 2.5 years, and I've
Right.
done it so far is working. And I don't know how much longer I can continue that, but I'll try as much as I can. For under the circumstances, that's all we can really do.
Indeed.
So yeah, so this is how it goes. But at the same time, it's becoming very sad, and it's becoming very, I don't want to say useless, but it looks like that.
Yeah. I didn't want to end on this somber note, but that's the situation that you're living in, and I understand.
Mm. Yeah,
Uh,
this is the situation. And
uh,
unfortunately, there's nothing else I can.
right,
I'm trying my best, though. I really am. I really, really am. I'm trying my darnest best with my
right.
surroundings, with the people around me, with whoever I see, and even I talk to. If it's going to have an effect, it might, and if it doesn't, I don't know. But it is what it is, and
Yeah.
life goes on.